eso no lo trago yo. Quiero que tú sepas que tú no eres para mí, que tú no eres para mí. Siempre supe, pero no hice caso, que ni se te ocurra aparecer por aquí, aparecer por aquí.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Daisy, and I'm here with
Jesus
and the great and greatest
Davin. Okay, too much.
I was not a part of that because I can't sing for shit. But today, I wanted to talk to you guys about, we got some really good feedback, and I really wanted to hit on one particular topic that they recommended for us, which is how do you get over your ex's past or your partner's past?
Oh, yes,
you
my
know?
sister Brenda brought this up.
No,
Yeah,
Juanita.
Juanita did.
No, Brenda.
No,
Juanita.
Juanita.
So it's obvious that Davin does not know who his sisters are. He has way too many to count.
It's a little confusing.
I have 3. You don't understand my life.
Anyways, and I thought that was a perfect intro to this topic because I don't feel like you ever get past your boyfriend or whatever, your partner past. Do you guys, what is your opinion on that?
Okay, so I have this... Oh, okay.
I think we're all going to be on completely different levels on this.
Oh, yeah.
If not,
Definitely.
like, all of us, me, on your guys', I think I'm going to be on a whole nother level.
Okay, why don't you start us off then?
No,
Yes.
I want to hear your guys' because I want to hear the other
Don't
perspective
throw
of what I
us
think.
into the dogs. You go, go.
No, you go. You were already going to go ahead.
Fine,
so
I'll
you
go. So, okay, here's the thing. I feel like in order to be with somebody else, you have to let go of somebody else's past, right? Because you can't hold on to that because it's the past. In a way, okay? Here's the thing. If I'm dating somebody and they're bringing back their past, that is not okay with me. Like, you're in the present, you're living with me, don't bring up the past. Especially, like, when people are like, oh my gosh, like, you take them to a new restaurant, that's okay. Let's say you take them to a new restaurant, and they're like, oh my gosh, like, I remember, like, I came here with my ex. And you're like, why did I need to know that? Why did you bring that up? Okay, so obviously you're relating this back to your ex. Just be here with me present. So I hate those little type of things. Now, when it comes to, like, relationship things where it's, like, intimacy and stuff like that, I personally maybe don't like to hear that sort of stuff because I'm a very jealous person. So I feel like maybe the jealousy comes into play on this.
I think even in real life, you're a very jealous person. I think
I am. That's what I just said.
No, not
I'm
even
a
the
very jealous
intimacy
person.
to like hearing about anybody's past even before. Like, what did you guys? What
The
date did
before
you guys
time?
go on? Yeah, or like, have you ever been to this place? Yeah, I was here with my ex. You're like a very. Oh, well, then I don't want to be here kind of person.
I am, and to be
That's
honest, though, I feel
everything,
like
though, that's what I'm
I feel
saying.
like that's the thing, though. I find myself asking questions to
That you don't want to know.
yes, that I don't want to know.
But
But
there's a
then I
difference,
also
though.
I'm so ratchet that I'm like, oh, you know, did you and your ex come here? And it's like my significant other knows that I'm gonna get mad if he says yes, but then he also knows that I'm gonna get mad if he doesn't tell me the truth.
So you're the kid that gets a scrape and you pick at the scab.
Yes, pretty much. I'm just
Okay.
sitting there like
Alright.
squeaky.
Well, I think there's a difference. What do you think, Debbie?
I honestly think that your past is your past. Like, there's no reason to bring up anything. There's no reason to ask on what is... I mean, okay, so there's no reason to ask your partner what is exactly has been going on with their past or whatever. You know what I mean? I think that you should start your new life with this new person. If you want to bring up old things that you've learned to yourself in the past, that's completely fine. Like, I've learned things about myself, like I said in the first podcast, that I will take with me into the new relationship that I'm in and use that to better the relationship that I'm currently in. I don't think that there's any need for you to bring up my past, for me to bring up your past. That's your freaking past. You should just let that completely go. It's called the past for a reason.
See, I think I'm in between you two.
Mhm.
Because I feel like you can't really forget what the hell happened to you. You know, like, it happened. Like,
Yeah.
they are a part of you, and you are a better person because of that shit. But at the same time, yeah, if you fucked your girlfriend in this room, I don't need to know.
That's
you
what
know?
I'm saying.
But-
Exactly. No, for an individual to remember that relationship is fine. You should always remember that because it's what you learned. But for my partner to, like, you don't need to know about my past. Fuck that.
But there's a certain ambiguity that I feel like needs to happen. Like, for example, like I don't need to know their names. I don't need to know if it was girlfriend number 1, number 2, number 3. I don't give a shit. They're in the past for a reason.
Daisy's like, fuck Shelly.
But I am that kind of person that I'm like, oh, so tell me something raunchy that you did with your girlfriend. I want to know. Like that, but I don't need to know like, oh, like Emily did this or whatever. You know, like I don't need the specific name or the specific girlfriend. You can keep that a secret as long as you
Or
tell
how
it to
she
me in
specifically
general.
sucked his dick.
Yeah. And you can tell me that you sucked your dick or whatever, as long as you say is you end up with, but you're doing it better. That's all I need to know.
Even if you're fucking lying, you know.
I lied to me. That's the foundation for a good relationship.
Lies? Yes, please build your whole relationship on lies. That should be the main foundation.
That
Yeah,
is Daisy's
some
advice
lies.
for the week.
Well, not everything, obviously.
Daisy already
right?
did her around the room, so she's good.
We'll skip her. No, I do like that topic though. I feel like, but here's the thing though. I am a very jealous person, but to be honest, this last relationship that I've been in has taught me to let go of that past, because I haven't been able to let go of that past in my last 2 relationships, and I feel like it's also something. There were obvious reasons as to why those relationships ended, but this new relationship taught me, that I have to let go of that past, because if I hold on to it, I'm not doing I guess I am doing myself harm and the relationship harm. So if I really want to be with that person, I have to accept and let go of their past.
Yeah, I think for you, particularly because I know you, don't ask questions. Like, know yourself, girl. If you can't handle that answer, don't ask the question.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I used
Like,
to do that
don't
so
hurt
much
yourself.
with my last relationships. Yeah.
No?
See, and I did too. I used to ask so many questions that I was like, it broke my heart. I didn't want to know those, but I asked them, why the hell would I even do that? It's like,
Right.
And now I've learned that, and I'm like, I don't care. And if it does come up, I've also learned to just be like, brush it off my shoulder. That has nothing to do with me now.
But I think you also have to know your boundaries. There's certain things that you cannot get over, and I think that varies per individual. Like for me, I could never be with a partner that has kids, personally, because I am not a person who is patient, and I feel like kids hate me
And
as
you don't want
equally
kids
as I
in
hate
general.
them. So there's a mutual hatred going on.
Girl, if you weren't married, I'd be all over that.
Right? But like if like if for you the boundary is my boyfriend or my girlfriend or whatever, had a threesome, like that's your deal, like that would turn me on, but like do whatever you do, you know.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's some past that you can't get over, right? There's some things that like will follow your partner even with you're with them,
Oh, heck yeah.
like chlamydia.
Or gonorrhea.
No, just kidding. But get that treat.
I wasn't
Daisy,
expecting that. I was not expecting that.
Oh, I carried that over to the last relationship.
Don't pass that shit.
So I have a question for you guys. Have you guys ever dated anybody that you knew you shouldn't be dating, but you were like, screw it, I'm gonna date you anyways?
Yes.
I want to hear your story, girl, because you have the most guilty look on your face
Oh
right
my god.
Of course, Daisy would be the one that's like, yes.
Oh my god. Oh
now.
my
You need to
god.
stop talking crap on my girl, man. We're going to do this podcast
I'm
without you.
an angel.
A little angel with a big devil.
Halo.
Yes.
Beyonce, what up?
Snap it out.
Yeah.
Snap it out.
I'm the person that thinks that you should date for fun.
I agree.
And even now, like, I've always dated for fun. I never
Good.
started a relationship thinking, oh, I'm gonna marry this guy. This is the father of my children.
But
This
you
is
live
the
in
one."
Utah.
I know, but I'm not LDS.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, you can no longer be on this podcast, Daisy.
I'm
We're
drinking
drinking the
wine. The blood of Christ.
The blood. Yes.
Amen.
Amen. Alright. No, but for real though, like I never thought about that, and those girls, like I don't know if this happened in all of the high schools in Utah, but like in my high school there was a fucking wave where everybody got pregnant or everybody wanted to have a baby, and I was like bitches. Like I was like, hell no, this girl's going places, like it ain't gonna be a bedroom. So when I started dating, I honestly didn't start dating until I was 17, and the reason for that is because I never felt incomplete in my life.
Okay.
Like, you know how some girls are like, oh, I need a boyfriend to be happy. I really need a boyfriend. I, for some reason, was never that type of girl. I was like, I should date that guy because I heard he's a good kisser.
Right.
You know, that kind of a thing. So, yeah, I've been in some relationships where maybe I knew that the guy wasn't the best of guys.
Well then, please do tell.
Yes, please tell us all about your endeavors.
We want details. This is one of those questions where we do want details.
Well, without getting into too much trouble because I am married. Okay.
Somebody finally put a ring on it.
No, but I was in a relationship where like he was a minor and I wasn't a minor.
How far off though?
I was in my 20s and he was in his 16-ish.
Like 20.
You were like total jailbait.
Girl, you were robbing the cradle.
I was, but here's the funny part.
For not
though.
wanting a baby, meet us.
This baby did not look like a baby.
You sure got yourself a baby.
Well, the thing is, I knew obviously he's a kid, right? I'm not gonna end up with him, and
Yeah, for fun.
yeah, it was totally for fun. I knew that at some point it was like
Gonna end.
It was socially, morally wrong, you know, whatever. Fuck.
Morally wrong? I didn't think so.
Yeah, well,
Not
yeah.
at all. Not at all.
But like I'm one of those people that like I like to sin, but I like to sin carefully. So like
Please.
I love Jesus, but I will cut you.
he forgives. But like I went to cause like my family knew his family.
Uh-huh.
Like my sister knew his brothers and his siblings or whatever. And so I felt like I almost had a little respect for his mother, you know? So I was like, look,
had to.
I'm dating your son. I know he's younger than me. If you don't want me to, I'll stop. Like, I don't give a fuck, you know? And like, I don't know if it's like Mexican moms or whatever. And she was like, teach him a thing or two. And I was like, oh, okay.
Teach him how to make those tortillas, girl.
So, yeah, so I mean, I knew that it was bad. And like, because we worked together, so we got bad looks
shoot.
all the time.
So how long did you guys date for?
Like 8 months?
That's not bad.
7 or 8 months?
That was just like a fun fling.
It was
then,
just a
huh?
fun thing, yeah. And like, honestly, like I wanted to go on a trip, and he didn't want me to go, so I broke up with him. So it was like that stupid kind
You're
of.
like, bye, bitch.
I was like, you ain't stopping me.
I'm going to Canada. See you later.
What about you, David?
I guess I'm the opposite of Daisy's situation. I was a minor dating a guy older than me.
How much older?
I was 17 at the time, and he was 20, so not too bad.
That's
It
not
wasn't
bad.
like, yeah,
No.
it was just a. But I remember there was a time I went out with him, and it was late at night. I mean, we weren't doing anything crazy. We were just walking around, and he's like, "It's a good thing both of us are over 18, so we can't get in trouble for curfew." And I was like, "Yeah, that's yeah." But I mean, like I said, it was never anything crazy, and it was more of a summer thing. It was right before I left to Okinawa with my sister, because I went to Japan right before my senior year, and I mean, we had fun. We were just doing whatever. And it wasn't like a completely official thing where we decided we were just going to stick with each other, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up leaving to Okinawa, and I guess he must have looked me up or something and realized that I was younger than I said I was. Because I said I was 18, and I pretended to be a vegetarian.
Oh, God. Now, that's an interesting thing.
Yeah, I was a hot
How much
mess.
do you pretend for your
Oh my
partner?
gosh, yes. I mean, I'm...
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. Have you ever lied to try to get that second date or
Oh, hell
throughout
yeah.
a relationship?
Oh yeah, I
You're
was
in your
like,
best
no, I don't
manners.
hate kids, and yes, I use condoms. Just kidding. I'm kidding. That's a Amy Schumer joke. Don't come at me.
See, and I feel like, to be honest, I don't think I've ever been in a relationship that I knew I shouldn't have been in. I've never dated. I dated somebody that was younger than me, but I was like 17 and he was like 16. You know, so it's not that bad. And then my last relationship, he was 1 year older than I was. I was 18. He was 19. Actually, no, I'm lying. There was one relationship that I knew I shouldn't have been in. So my first relationship. Okay, so this was high school. This is kind of like a weird topic for me to talk about, just because I feel like it's very personal.
But I think it'll bring people empowerment at the same time.
Definitely. So obviously Daisy and Debbie know about this relationship. Won't mention names. We'll call this person
Bob.
Sweater.
No, Bob.
Okay, Bob. So I was dating a guy by the name of Bob, and And now this guy, it was a high school thing. You know, we dated for almost 2 years, and everything was perfect throughout the first couple months, and even throughout the first year. And the more I got to know him, I never really got to meet his family. He would meet my family, but I never got to meet his family. And finally, when I did, I realized that he came from like a very abusive family. And it was something that I never saw him as this type of person. And then one day I finally did. And one argument just got out of hand. And as I don't know, I feel like I've never been I don't like to confront people in a rude way, or especially like in a confrontational way, and this led up to something like that. And so my initial thing to do was just to walk away. I was like, you know what, we're both heated, so I feel like we just need to walk away, get a little bit of time, and we'll come back to this. And as I was walking away, I got punched right on the face.
Oh shit.
How the fuck do you up?
And I
The day you lay a hand
I
on me.
actually didn't even do anything. And I think it was more like a state of shock. Like I couldn't believe that that it just happened. And I remember I literally got just punched right in the face, and I felt like my mouth just dropped open. Like I said, I couldn't believe it. And immediately, like in less than a second, it was like punch, and all of a sudden he was in tears, and he was telling me, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that.
Yeah.
Please forgive me. Like I will never do it again." And I remember I burst into tears, and it wasn't even like, "Oh my gosh, that hurt." It did hurt, but I remember it wasn't like
It hurt your heart more than it hurt your face.
I think it was just like I was like, oh my, like I was just in that state where I was like, I can't believe this just happened. And I was just like crying, and my tears were more out of like shock and also out of anger, because I was like, how did I just let this happen? And I feel like the dumbest thing to do at that moment was forgive him, and that is exactly what I did.
I think even now to this day, though, you're forgiving him. At the beginning of that story, you made up an excuse that he came from an abusive family. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think we tend to excuse behaviors
But
that
you
we don't want to
shouldn't,
accept. But when you guys broke up, did he break up with you, or did you break up with him?
Well, it was the thing where it was like that. Like after that happened, it was like it will never happen again, and it happened again, and it happened again.
Fuck that.
And I would say it happened multiple times, and one time it actually got very physical to the point where I was screaming out of the top of my lungs for help, and that would to me was like a news flash. And you're right, like I was making that excuse where I was like, no, it's okay because he comes from a family like this, like it's something that he does. And it took me a really close friend to put me in my place and say, you know what, you can make excuses for as long as you want, however, like people come, your dad may be an alcoholic. That doesn't mean that you have to be an alcoholic. Your dad may, be working for $7 the rest of his life. It doesn't mean that you're going to have to work for $7 the rest of your life, You got to go ahead and say, I'm not going to be an alcoholic. I'm going to go to college, and I'm going to get that degree, and I'm going to make freaking $50, $70, $80, $90, $100 an hour. And that really hit me. And I feel like at the time I was just so young. And I know that something that you brought up earlier was I was so young, and I had such low self-esteem issues that I was one of those very needy people where I was like, I need a boyfriend. Like, I need somebody to love me, because I was so unhappy with myself that I allowed things like that to happen. Whereas now, anybody ever lays a hand on me, that's it. There's no conversation. There's no nothing. Like nothing. You lay a hand on me and it is over. Like I respect myself, and especially now having a little sister. I'm like, I want to set that example. I don't ever want my sister to come up to me and be like, my boyfriend hit me, but it's okay because his dad used to hit his mom or anything like that. So I feel like it's more of an example that I'm trying to set and just be that person that's like, you know what, I've been through that, and it's just a matter of getting out.
See, and can I say something? And Daisy, I really want your help on this. Especially, I know that men and women both get abused, but it's more on the women's side because they always feel like they're a little bit less stronger, I guess. And I'm not saying that women aren't. I'm saying a lot of women let a lot of men take advantage of them. And I want your help on saying that there are places that you can go, and there are outlets that you can have where you can get out of that situation.
Right. I think there's a saying in Spanish that says el cobarde dura hasta que el valiente dura hasta que el cobarde quiere, which means that the strong person is only strong until the weak person takes a stand, right? And I feel like that's a scenario that has to occur for abuse to happen in a relationship. Somebody has to have a weak or low self-esteem or something that they feel that they don't deserve a better person, or they make excuses for the abuser or why he's abusive or whatever, you know.
And that quote unquote strong person takes
Strong
advantage
person.
of the weak
Right.
person.
And I think like just think about your everyday life, you know, like think about like if you hate your job. How long does it take for you to say, I'm gonna quit this job, to you actually fucking quit the job? And you can find
Girl, I've already
so
been
many
2 years
jobs.
in.
Right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's hard to quit your job. It's hard to quit your life. It's hard to quit your routine. It's hard to quit the person that you live with or that you share your life with 24/7.
But life is so short, again, to not let that be an excuse.
And
You
I'm
can
not
deal
saying
with
that,
your
you
job.
know.
No, you can live with your job freaking sucking. You can live with bad friends sometimes, but don't ever put yourself in the situation where you have to continually go to a house where you are unsafe, where your child is unsafe, where your life feels like it's nothing. Like,
But
get
that's
the
the
fuck
thing, though.
out of
Like,
that situation.
sometimes girls or guys don't feel
Yeah.
like they're unsafe, right? They just feel like it's a condition that happens.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it
I
takes
did this, so
time.
I deserve this.
Yeah.
But you don't ever deserve that, though. You're more than that. You're more than what that other person makes
Like
you
you're
feel.
you're hopeful that that person's gonna change, right? It's like, oh well, he said he's sorry, so he must be sorry, right?
Fuck you. The minute that you lay your hands on him, he's not sorry the minute that he lays his hands on you.
But I'm saying, like, there's people who do think that, right? And it's
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
It's hard to make a change that drastic in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. You know, I feel like at the end of the day, the one person you have to trust and see in yourself is you. You know, and you
Follow your
have to know that
intuition.
you deserve better. No matter if you're shitty, if you can't cook, if you think you look ugly, like if your life is crap, whatever it is, you deserve better. And so be better. You
And
know?
I feel like that's definitely something that I learned after that relationship. You know, I was like, I can't, this is something that has to end. And I had to put my foot down and say, you know what, like you said, I do really love you, you know, as a person, but that just because I love you doesn't mean that I have to stay with you. And how you mentioned on our
important.
first podcast, you know, I can try to help you, but I can't save you. If you don't want to save yourself, I can't save you.
We ain't no Superman.
And there was nothing that was coming from that person. So I said, you know what, I need to be happy. I need to be able to go ahead and make my life go on. And you know, it was like, this has to end, and I will not allow this anymore.
Good.
And it took a lot of things, and it took a lot of friends and family members getting involved, and but I finally realized that. And I hope that, you know, something like this, you know, if you're in any sort of situation like this, that you can go ahead and just say that it is really hard. It is really hard to let go, like you guys were mentioning, of that lifestyle of that, you know, seeing that person every single day. It's almost like starting fresh, starting all
Yeah,
over.
for
But
sure.
it's not the end of the world. You can
there
do
are
it.
places to help you as well. Get out of your situation.
Yeah, and along with that, I would definitely love to go ahead and put on our Facebook a couple of phone numbers in
Yeah.
case you're in any of those situations. A couple of phone numbers, a couple of websites where you can do a little bit of research. I thought this was a great topic, and we definitely want to go ahead and help you out. We do have ways for you guys to contact us in case you guys want to send in your stories or you guys just need advice. We definitely would love to put our 2 cents in there and try to help you guys out.
winepodcast@gmail.com. If you have any of your stories, if you don't want them to be public on our Facebook page, you can send us some messages on Facebook. So
And anything that you send us through Facebook
we'll
is
be
confidential.
Confidential, yeah. We will not share it with anybody. If you want us to share it on the show to give somebody else strength, we definitely will.
Yeah, so by any means, have fun with the wrong person. Just know that they're not permanent in your life.
Yes.
You know, put them when their time is done.
So with that being said, we should go around the room and give our advice for the week.
I'll go first. I would love to say that you must have respect for yourself. Always respect yourself. Respect your morals. Respect your body. Respect everything about you. Stand your ground. Know what you stand for, and don't let anybody try to defer you from that. So that's my advice for the week.
My advice for the week is have fun. Life is short. Fuck who you want. Do what you want. Just be protected so you don't end up with a surprise on your birthday.
No chlamydia, no gonorrhea.
No gonorrhea. But like seriously, like I feel like a lot of people date to have boyfriends. Don't date to have boyfriends. Date to have fun and live your life.
I think my advice for the week is kind of go along with Daisy's, but it's just to live the best life that you can. We're here for a short time. Don't ever regret the day that you had. Always just make your next day better if you had a bad day, or learn from your whatever you had from the day that you're living now and apply it to tomorrow. And don't ever let anybody stop you from doing anything. And always get out of a situation that makes you unhappy, because it's not worth your time on this earth. So
Yeah, so thank you for staying with us for third episode of Wine Talks. We love having you here. And with that, I bid you adieu. This is Daisy.
This is Jesus.
And this is Davin.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.